What is going on YouTube? How are you guys doing? Welcome to a brand new video, and now obviously this is another lore video, as you can probably tell from the title. But yeah, so yesterday I did a pretty long stream basically theorizing a bunch of lore for champions, a bunch of connections, and in that stream we went thoroughly over the criminal underworld, which involves people like Xin, Charlene, Ying, Lex, Androxus, Maeve, and a couple of others. You know, just we went over it and we came up with a pretty strong theory as to what's going on, and I believe that it is probably the one that is true, and it might be proven in the past, it might in the future, sorry, but it could also be disproven. We are open to criticism, obviously, so if any of you guys want to challenge it, then go ahead and do that. But yeah, anyway, let's get straight into it. Right, so the first bit actually includes Leanne. If we go over to her lore, it actually says that she is an inheritress to the Ruby Throne. We know this, it was confirmed that she was actually the one to be sitting on the Ruby Throne. She is the ruler of that throne. In the lore video that was uploaded last night by HuZh. So we do know now that she is the person to be on the Ruby Throne. She is nobility. But if we actually go ahead and take a look at Xin's lore in-game as well, it says, robbed of his noble lineage, Xin ruthlessly carved out his own throne. So we know that Xin was robbed of his noble lineage, and so by that means either he was thrown off by another house or he was disregarded by his family. Now, I don't think he was tossed out by his family. I think his family was beaten in a battle by the house Aiko. I think that Leanne's house overthrew Xin's, and that is why they don't get on. She stole his throne, so he went and took it upon himself to become a criminal and carve out his own throne in the underworld. Now we know that he was entitled to a throne, as it says right there. He was robbed of his noble lineage. Xin ruthlessly carved out his own throne atop of the criminal underworld. So we know that Xin was once entitled to a throne. We also know, if we go into a little bit further into Xin's lore, we know he is the ruler of a shadowy empire called the Thousand Hands. Now we know that Charlene, from Charlene's lore backstory, was once a part of this Thousand Hand Guild. As it says inside of his lore, he betrayed the infamous Thousand Hands Guild. So we know that he was once a outlaw inside of the Thousand Hands. So why did he betray then the Thousand Hands? Well, Charlene decided that he didn't want to be part of the group anymore once they imprisoned a young girl called Ying. Ying was once a prisoner of a bandit king. Now we know that bandit king was Xin, because when Xin kills her in-game, he says, "I have not forgot about you, little girl."
I haven't forgotten about you.
It also says in Ying's lore, a talented young spellcaster, Ying is a master of illusions and trickery, able to befuddle her opponents with bewildering misdirection. The same magic, she also soothes the minds of her allies to ease their suffering and mend their wounds. She made good use of those skills to escape imprisonment by a bandit king, and during her days as an adventurer afterwards, when the magistrate begins its campaign of conquest, subjugating the realm in an attempt to restrict the use of magic by the common folk. She felt it was her responsibility to join the fight against the tyranny. Now, why does Ying feel so strongly against tyranny? Because she was once imprisoned by somebody called Xin. But how did she escape the Thousand Hand Guild? Well, this is where the theory starts to come in. Me and a couple of others believe that Charlene betrayed the infamous Thousand Hand Guild by helping Ying escape. Now, the only real evidence to support that they was together after this whole Thousand Hand Guild, and that they may have possibly broken out of the Thousand Hand Guilds together, is that they both become adventurers. It says in Charlin's lore, tales of the legendary adventurer Charlin has spread far and wide across the realm. It also says, after the imprisonment by a bandit king and during her days as an adventurer, so we know that she was an adventurer at some point as well, and Charlin still to this day enjoys adventuring. The only reason Ying still isn't adventuring is because she supports the resistance. That is why I believe we always see them together in trailers and promos for Paladins. So another little bit of theory that is coming in now. While all of this was going on, I believe that Lex and Androxus was partners once in the Outer Tribal, which is the law enforcement in Paladins. We know this from Androxus's law. It says, once a noble lawman of the Outer Tribal. So there we go. He was once a noble lawman, of the Outer Tribal. And we know that to this day, Lex still works for the Outer Tribal. His law says this. The Outer Tribal is made up of merciless, earthbound judges no more dedicated than Lex and his partner Androxus. So, we know that he was once partners with Androxus. But Androxus is a criminal now. He was cursed once. He killed the god Nox, or Nyx, depends on which timeline you're going off, which mythology and all that. But regardless, he killed the god of shadows. And Androxus became infused with her curse. This curse led him hungry for souls, and he became an outlaw. This led to Lex swearing an oath that one day he would bring Androxus in, as it states in his law. Vowed that one day to take his former partner in, dead or alive. Now, Xin is head of these Godslayer. His powers, his new-found corruption. He is head of it, and he wants Androxus on the team. And we know that obviously Androxus and Xin do have ties to each other, because Xin goes out of his way to protect Androxus in the Nobody Escapes the Law cinematic trailer. Lex goes to kill Androxus, and Xin comes in with a counter, nearly killing Lex himself, until someone very unexpected shows up, and that's Maeve. Now we know from Maeve's law that she is a mercenary, as it states she's willing to sell her services to the highest bidder. So we know that she is an outlaw, and she will do pretty much anything for a little bit of coin. So the theory is that I've come up with, and a couple of others during the live stream like yesterday, was that Maeve was hired by the Outer Tribal, which is the law enforcement, to assist Lex in taking down Xin and Androxus because of her world-renowned speed, skills, and pretty much all-around talent. And that is what led us up to today. That is pretty much all we came up with, and yeah, that's what's led to the underground war, the underground theory. That's the underground criminal organization theory. That's what we all came up with on stream. So if any of you guys actually want to challenge that and maybe put in some points that we maybe didn't think of, then go ahead and, let us know in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.